Good evening, class. I'm going to review with you how to add comments within a Google Doc. You're going to use this feature in order to annotate the story we just read called The 80-Yard Run. First thing you're going to do is go to Google Classroom, and right here where you see numbers on mine, you should see an open button. You can also just click on the title of the story, and then once you open it, you should see a copy of the story. Says the 80-yard run will have a dash and then your name. I have forced a copy of the story out to each of you. My directions are also attached, but I gave you a paper copy of those directions yesterday. If you lost it, you're in luck, because here are the directions again. So I'm going to go to the story. There are a few things you're going to be doing. I'm going to go over what I went over with in class, and then I'll show you a couple other things, okay? The first thing was identify 4 different settings. Underline or highlight the sentence, then describe in the margins of the story. These settings could focus on time or place. So what I had done with you in class is I went down to the second paragraph. I highlighted where it's explaining a particular setting. I clicked add a comment, but if you don't see that box, you can also come up here and click comment that way. It's up to you. So again, highlight, click comment. I'm going to put the word setting, and then I'm going to say that it's autumn, it's football season, and it's cold. These are the things I learned so far in the story about the setting and in this particular area of the story. So I'm going to click comment. That will save my comment. You'll know it's saved because you no longer see the comment button. However, if you go back through and you realize I made a mistake, you can always click the 3 dots, click edit, come in here and fix whatever you need, but make sure you hit save when you're done. I'm going to hit cancel because I made no changes. Okay? Then I asked you to go ahead and find 3 more areas of settings. Lots of areas. You can see here it talks about different years. It talks about the stadium throughout the story. It talks about being in the locker room in one part of the story. It talks about being in Louise's car. Further down talks about being in their new apartment, so on and so forth. I want you to locate or identify 4 different settings. The next part in the story was appealing to the senses. You're going to underline or highlight this part of the story that appeals to the sense of sight, touch, hearing, taste, and smell. In class, we scroll down on the second page, and we decided to click on he drank 3 glasses of cold water, the liquid reaching down coldly inside of him, soothing the harsh, dry places in his throat and belly left by sweat and running and shouting a practice. I'm going to click, and I'm simply going to put taste. That's the sense it appeals to, okay? Then you can do one for sight, something they're seeing, something they're hearing, something they're smelling. Okay, this is going to take some time, and you may want to go back through the story and reread some areas. Okay, it's totally up to you how you do it. Maybe you instantly think of a piece and you just have to find it. The other part, you may just have to reread sections. Okay. Next, it says, what is a foil character? Underline and highlight who that character might be in the story. So, and this is not necessarily the answer, I'm going to go and find a name. So if I thought Dieterich or Dieterich was the person, I'd highlight their name and then I'd put the word foil character. I'm not saying that's correct. I'm just showing you what I expect. Okay? Then the next section is characterization. What is one line that helps us understand the character of Christian? And what is one line that helps us understand the character of Louise? Underline or highlight the line and then describe how they are described in the margins of the story. Okay? So you're going to go through and find a section that you think is good characterization of one of the characters. Okay? So let's see. I'm going to find how about when here. He says, leave them there. Gives me something to do in the afternoons. I can hate them. Darling took a long swallow. Is that the way people paint these days? So I'm going to put Darling, the name, and I'm going to state what I think it says about him. I think it tells us that he is rude and often inconsiderate towards his wife. That's my personal opinion. And hit comment. And then you'll do the same thing with Louise. Again, you can pick any line you choose. That was just an example. Number 5, what do you believe the climax is in the story? You're going to underline or highlight the turning point of the story and explains what happens in the margins. I think that is definitely up for debate. Okay. Completely up to you and deciding what the climax is. Okay. I'm just going to pick this at random to show you. So if I think it's right here, I'm going to put climax. I think this is the turning point in the story. Louise gets a new hat and it directly relates to her new life. She is confident and feels good about herself. Darling does not like this new Louise. And that, again, that's just an example. There's lots of areas that I think you could argue were the climax. And then underline and highlight a line that confuses you. Create a question. This is a rhetorical question. You're not literally going to answer it, okay? So maybe I'm going to scroll down here. Let me find something. How about when he gets a job? Let me think here. Give me 1 second to find a good spot. Okay, here when he goes back to that college because he's going to sell suits, it talks about 15 years. Flattery, even now, was calling for his wife, buying her a drink, filling whatever bar they are in with that voice of his and his easy laugh. I'm going to pose the question, is Louise having an affair with Flattery? Okay, you don't have to answer it. Just have the question ready. This may be something we actually discuss in class. Okay. Time period reference, underline, highlight language that indicates that the story is older in context. Remember, the story takes place between the times of 1925 and 1940. I had mentioned this in class, but towards the beginning of the story, it talks about his coaches and how much they make in 1 year. Right here, making their 2000 year a tiny bit more secure. So I'm going to put, this is a time period reference. Okay. And then you're going to hit the comment tool and then look at the next one. The next one is real life experience. Relate it to at least one part of the story of your actual life. So for instance, I might actually go down to when Louise is having a little party with all of her friends. I'm going to scroll down and look. And as I'm looking, there's lots of times. Oh, here's one where they're talking about all kinds of things and he doesn't understand. So I'm going to put, like Darling, I have been put into situations where I did not know what people were talking about. For instance, I was at a gathering of people that were doctors, and I wasn't really sure how to join their medical discussion due to my lack of knowledge on the subject. Okay? And that's a real life personal example. Okay? The last thing you need to do are the words you don't know. Okay? So I'm going to just pick a word. Longshoreman. I like that one. I'm going to copy that. That's a time period word. I'm not sure exactly what it is. So I'm going to come at the end of the story. I'm going to paste the word. And then you could actually define it right here. If you highlight and right click, define longshoreman. We'll see if it gives me an answer. Here we go. A person employed in a port to load and unload ships. I didn't know what that is. So I'm going to copy it and then come over here, paste it. There we go. And I need to do that 4 more times. Okay? Hopefully this has been a big help to you. If you have any questions, please email me with any concerns or questions that you have. Have a great day.